I think they were kind of tall. Yeah, they were kind of tall. If I remember right, they were like this a little bit, and then his head kind of came up. I'm not trying to go off of anything I'm remembering. I'm just thinking out loud. This is what I do a lot of the times when I'm not making tutorials. I talk to myself a lot, even when I'm not talking to myself a lot. But either way, it gets the job done, you know. And maybe we'll go super small on the mouthpiece for this one, and then we'll go sharp down. And then maybe I want like an extra little nose piece like that. And then just a little bit more realistic than the last one. And then I'll go with the mouth, something like, no, too cartoony. Something like that. And maybe like that. You have to excuse me for these art videos, man. I just get quiet because focusing on making the art, guys. Maybe something like that, and pull that down. Whose mouth does that look like? That looks like one of the Batmans. One of the Batmans. But I don't know. I don't know whose Batman that looks like, but it looks like somebody's Batman. Do I want to go with a bigger chin, like an over-exaggerated Batman chin? You know what I'm talking about? Those Batman chins where it's like his chin doesn't look like that. I think I might want to go for something crazy like that. I like pointy styles. By the way, I don't have a style. I really just don't. I mean, like I have a go-to style, which is kind of like a round head type of thing, but it's not exactly the only style that I draw in. I think that's a really good thing to get into. And like I said, for this specific thing that I'm telling you right now to draw Batman every day, that's a really great way of not getting pigeonholed. Like I said at the beginning of the video, draw him in a different style every single day, because it'll help you not only come up with different shapes and different other things that you are going to maybe want to try and test out, especially if you haven't found a style that you like better than others. It definitely helps you do different shapes, because like I said, for instance, I mean, this one over here is much more with the crisper lines, you know, with the like that, and then this one's over here with the less sharp lines, a little more realistic. Rather, maybe I want to just get a little bit more detail in this one. We'll have like a thing like that maybe, and then we'll pull that up, and maybe I'll do a more classic style nose like that with the little triangle piece, and then I'll go backwards. Yeah, sure. Maybe on this side we'll do a little bit of a inward kind of facial thing going on there. This is much more classic of a style over here. I think his head is too tall, but let me do the eyes first, because I know that I'm going to want to get these in really brooding and really crazy. Like that maybe. More of a comic book style, really. This one is like a old school comic. Maybe something like that. Let me pull that down. Yeah, his head's way too long for this. I'll fix it in a second, though. That's the great thing about digital art. Like I said, I have done a lot of non-digital drawing way too long. You could take a look at, just look how long his head is. It's insane. But I've done a lot of different types of art. I've done, oh man, so many art classes. I used to love going to art class in school, and it was great, but once it came time to painting, I always hated painting. I always hated painting because I would always make mistakes and you can't go back. And it's very difficult to try and test things out when you're painting, because you got like a one shot, and then once you're done with that one shot, it's kind of over. I mean, you can't undo it. You kind of got to test things before you go into the actual painting, which, I mean, I guess is how people do it, but it feels restricting, and I like being able to come in here and move these pieces around and be able to get in there and maybe do things with layers. I like having the building blocks that we started from and then building on top of those to try and create the art. And I do know that a lot of people don't like digital art for just that reason, but I feel like it's a much more static way. See, his head looks too small now. It looks like the bottom of his head is just eating the top part of it. It's like there's not enough room compared to the other side. And I think that looks pretty good, but this piece is too long. Alright, yeah. So you can see this is a thicker style Batman. Maybe I'll do a neck for this one. I like Batman. I like doing Batman sketches because his features are so able to be modified. And just something really quickly. Like that. Yeah, sure. Super dirty, quick sketch of his neck, but face isn't that bad. But you can see the kind of differences that you can do if you sketch Batman every single day. This is only 2 styles, and it's an insane amount of difference that we have here in Batman's face, which is just insane. It's crazy, the difference that you can make just by taking a few different style choices. This is like I said, this is like an old school comic, maybe something like that, maybe a more realistic style. And then this over here is like Teen Titans Go, which is a great show, but it's completely different than this one over here, which is just just another reason why I'm telling you to go ahead and sketch Batman every single day. Get in some nice detail, some nice customization. Do whatever you want. Make Batman a frog. Make Batman a bird. Make Batman a dinosaur. Do anything you want. I usually stick to keeping him a person, though, so you can get down the shapes, because if you try and change him into other things, then you're gonna have to be able to sketch those other things. Like I said, right here, if I break this down, let me just hide that one and drop this opacity down. Now, if we break this down super quick, you can see we only used a couple of shapes here. So we have this weird shaped rectangle, right? So a weird shaped square rectangle. Then we have like a trapezoid kind of thing going on, triangle without the missing little piece. It looks like it has a chin piece right there. And then we have just a strange circle ovally thing. And then another strange one over here, which is kind of like a triangle without this side over here, you know? We have like a heart shape right here. Just break it down into shapes. It's so much easier than people think when they dive into, like, oh, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to even, go into it and just attack it. Just do it. Just literally just do that. Just go into it and attack it, and then it'll come together eventually. Even if it takes you a half an hour just to do what I've done right here in the red, it doesn't matter. Just get it down, because it'll come easier and it'll go faster and whatever else. We have this like upside down U here, then a small one. I got these lines in here to define some shapes. In just 2 lines, you can see we have much more detail than before, because without that, it's like his face is flat, Now we got those 2 in there, kind of give a little bit of depth. Got like a little squiggle line there, just a regular little accent line, a little edge on that, and then we go down, and you can see we just have all these little wisps in here. All these little tiny little accent lines help us garner so much detail. It's incredible. In just a few lines we can capture so much. And of course up here we have these triangles as well. So just break it down into shapes. Don't go, oh, how do I draw Batman's head? Do not say, how do I draw Batman's head? What I want you to say is, well, how do I draw a square? How do I draw a square? Then go, oh, how do I draw a triangle? Don't even go to the trapezoid. Don't even go to the trapezoid or the rhombaton, whatever you're going to draw. Don't even go to that yet. Just see how many times I just do that line? I wasn't even thinking about it. Just as many times as you want. Then just cut that piece off. And then get rid of that, because you want to know why? Because we don't need that piece. That's why. Right there. And you see we got that chin working on? Just lightly sketch over top of that until you got something that feels a bit more how you want it to feel. And if we go ahead and maybe give a little bit of perspective to this, so push his chin over that way, make this line a bit sharper, like that. So that is that. Go sketch Batman every single day. Do it in shapes. Don't say to yourself, how do I draw Batman? Say, how do I draw rectangles and circles and rhombatons and squares and triangles and octagons and everything else in between. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. So I'll see you guys in the next one, but until then, bye-bye.